Nobody wanted this ruined armored cruiser. I bought it for 5 credits and shocked everyone. The galactic auction hall was massive, stretching as far as the eye could see. Ships of all shapes and sizes floated in the docking bay, suspended by anti-gravity fields. Most were sleek, new, and expensive, glittering under the hall lights. But in the far corner, under dust and dim lights, lay the one ship that nobody wanted. It was huge, massive. An armored cruiser, once feared in battles, now broken, rusted, and abandoned. Its hull was scarred with old laser burns. Its engines looked dead, and half of its weapon turrets hung at odd angles. The AI core had a warning light blinking in red, a sign that it was barely functioning, a sign for everyone else that it was worthless. Everyone else, that is, except Jace. Jace was human, short, wiry, and not very imposing. He walked through the auction hall with the kind of confidence that only comes from knowing your own mind. He didn't have a lot of money. 5 credits was all he had saved from months of salvaging smaller ships and selling scrap. Most bidders laughed when he approached the massive cruiser. That thing? A tall alien with green-scaled skin and 4 arms, sneered. You can't even get it to move, human. Why even try? Jace smiled faintly. Sometimes broken things just need the right touch, the auctioneer's voice boomed. Next item, the X-warship Invincible Star. Who will start the bidding? Hands raised across the hall. Other species were already shouting offers in hundreds, even thousands of credits. But Jace stayed quiet. He knew the rules. He would bid when the time was right. When the countdown began, the first alien shouted, 500 credits. Another shouted, 750. The numbers climbed quickly, but nobody even looked at the small human in the corner. Jace raised his hand slowly. 5 credits, he said, his voice calm. A pause. Then laughter. Not polite laughter. Mocking, cruel laughter. Every bidder in the hall turned to stare. The auctioneer blinked in disbelief. 5 credits?
Yes, Jay said again, steady.
5 credits. That's my bid. The alien next to him roared with laughter, almost toppling his hover chair. You tiny human, you think you can buy a ship like that with pocket change? Jace didn't reply. He just waited, calm as a still lake. The laughter grew louder. Whispers filled the hall. Who is this human? Does he even understand what he's doing? But the auctioneer, somewhat amused, looked down at the bidding pad. 5 credits. Going once, going twice. Sold, the auctioneer shouted. The hall erupted.
Aliens, and even some humans, stared in shock. Nobody could believe it.
The mighty armored cruiser, the ex-warship of countless battles, now belonged to a single human with almost no money. Jace walked forward, ignoring the stares, and activated his small hovercart. He strapped in the cruiser's stocking lines and prepared for the long trip back to his workshop. He had no intention of letting the galaxy laugh at him. Not now. Not ever. The ship was a mess. Its engines were dead. Its AI core flickered red, and alarms rang silently inside. But Jace didn't see a wreck. He saw potential. Every scorch mark, every dent, every broken panel told him what could be fixed and what could be improved. By the time the auction hall cleared, he had already begun scanning the ship from the outside. He ran his hand over the hull, feeling the metal, noting the weak spots. The alien crowd had laughed at him, but Jace had a plan. The trip back to his workshop took hours. Jace used the ship's barely functioning navigation system to float safely through the docking lanes. Each beep and flicker of the warning lights told him that the ship was alive, but barely. The AI had not spoken, and Jace knew why. Most abandoned AIs were cautious. They didn't trust humans. He didn't care. He had a knack for building trust, even with machines. By the time the ship reached Jace's hidden hangar, darkness had fallen outside. The stars sparkled through the transparent roof, and Jace's heart beat faster with excitement. He climbed aboard through the maintenance hatch, his toolkit strapped to his belt. The interior was a wreck. Dust covered everything. Wires hung from the ceiling like vines. panels flickered and died at his touch. Some corridors were completely dark, and the smell of old fuel and burnt circuits filled the air. Jace took a deep breath. "All right," he whispered. "Let's see what we can do." He began with the engines. Hours passed as he worked alone, reading old manuals and rerouting power lines. Sparks flew, and several times he nearly got shocked. But slowly, the main engine hum began to vibrate faintly. A sound so small, yet so full of promise. The AI flickered once more. A holographic interface appeared, dim and glitching. A voice crackled, broken and cautious.
Who?
"Activated me?" Jace smiled. "I did. I'm Jace. You're gonna help me fix this ship." The AI paused, then let out a long digital sigh. "Humans, inefficient, reckless." Jace chuckled. "Maybe, but I get things done." For hours, Jace worked. He repaired circuits, replaced old power cells, and cleaned the AI core. Slowly, the red warning light turned yellow, then green. The ship shivered under his touch, alive in small ways. At night, Jace climbed to the bridge. From the large viewport, he looked at the stars. For most humans, such ships were impossible to reclaim. But he had bought it for 5 credits. 5 credits and a belief in human ingenuity. He could already imagine what others would say when they saw the ship move again. The aliens who had laughed would be shocked. The humans who doubted him would be inspired. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "we start really working." Outside, the stars continued to shine. The abandoned armored cruiser, once forgotten, now had a new purpose. And Jace, human, clever, and underestimated, was ready to make the galaxy notice. The first step was small. Repair the engines, activate the AI, test the shields. Every part would take time, patience, and intelligence. But Jace was human, and humans had a way of doing the impossible. By the time dawn broke, the cruiser's lights were fully on. The hum of the engine vibrated under Jace's feet. The AI blinked its interface, cautious but responsive. "Ready for tomorrow?" Jace asked. The AI hesitated. Then it spoke, in a tone slightly less annoyed than before. "We shall see, human. We shall see." Jace grinned. "We will see. And the galaxy will see too." He stepped back from the controls, feeling for the first time that he wasn't just standing on a wreck. He was standing on the beginning of something great. And somewhere deep in the stars, the galaxy had already started whispering about the human who bought a ruined warship for 5 credits. The first night aboard the cruiser had been long. Jace slept in a small maintenance bay, but even in rest his mind buzzed with possibilities. By dawn the ship already hummed faintly, and the AI, now showing small signs of awareness, blinked in its dim holographic interface. "Good morning, human," the AI said, its voice still rough, like metal grinding against metal. Jace yawned and stretched. "Morning. Let's get to work." "Today we make this ship alive." The AI's hologram flickered. "Alive? Do humans always overestimate themselves?" "Some do," Jace admitted, smiling. "But I'm not like most humans." He began with the ship's power system, the lifeblood of the cruiser. Its main reactors were damaged, leaking coolant and sparking unpredictably. Any wrong move could blow the entire ship apart. Jace carefully inspected the main conduits, noting melted circuits and corroded panels. He scavenged replacement parts from storage crates he had brought from his workshop. The first attempt to restart the reactor caused a small explosion. Sparks flew, the lights flickered, and smoke filled the room. Jace coughed but kept calm. "Not bad," he muttered. "Just a few more adjustments." Hours passed. The reactor shuddered under his careful hands but began producing stable energy. Green lights replaced the red warning indicators. The ship shivered faintly, as if testing its own strength. The AI watched silently. "You humans are persistent," it said finally. "And proud," Jace replied. "We have to be. Otherwise we don't survive." Next came the engines, which had been dead for decades. Jace climbed into the engine bay, Inhaling the smell of burnt fuel and rust, the massive thrusters loomed over him, cold and silent. He ran diagnostic scans and discovered that most engine circuits had fried during its last battle. Some thrusters were salvageable, others would need complete rebuilding. Jace worked tirelessly, rewiring circuits and installing scavenged parts. Each correction caused a spark or a hum. Some thrusters roared to life with a cough, then died. Some held longer. By mid-afternoon, the engines vibrated faintly, and the ship responded to minor movements in the control system. "Not bad for a human," the AI admitted, sounding almost impressed. Jace grinned. "Not bad at all. But we have a long way to go." He spent the next few hours exploring the ship's weapon systems. Most turrets were locked or damaged. Missile bays were jammed. Lasers wouldn't charge. But in a small corner of the ship he found the main cannon. Massive, ancient, yet intact. The targeting computer was offline, but Jace's quick thinking allowed him to reroute manual controls. "This," he said, tapping the cannon, "is going to remind everyone why humans aren't to be underestimated." The AI hesitated. "You speak as though the galaxy will care what one human can do." "Maybe not now," Jace replied. "But soon, they will." Even as he worked, small problems arose. Aliens scavenging the nearby sector began noticing the old cruiser moving. Drones scanned the area, curious. One drone hovered too close, scanning Jace's hangar. Jace activated a small camouflage field, hiding the cruiser's power signature. The drone buzzed in confusion and moved away. "Clever," the AI said. "But you cannot hide from everyone forever."
I know, Jace admitted.
"But we have time, and we have to move carefully." By evening, the ship's AI interface had improved. It could now respond more clearly, analyze systems, and even suggest minor repairs. The AI had developed a cautious respect for Jace, surprised by his intelligence and persistence. "You know," the AI said, "I have served countless captains. Most humans would have destroyed me by now. You..."
"Are different," Jace chuckled. "I've never been very good at following the rules."
"Maybe that's why I succeed." The next day, he focused on the navigation system. The old maps were partially corrupted. Some routes led to debris fields, and others to abandoned sectors. Jace painstakingly cleaned the data and uploaded updated star charts from his personal database. "Navigation ready," he said proudly. The AI ran a simulation. "Impressive. Your calculations are human, but surprisingly accurate."
Jace smiled.
"We humans are good at seeing patterns, even broken ones." As repairs progressed, the ship began to show life. The engines hummed steadily. Lights flickered on in the corridors. Turrets moved slowly, like limbs waking after a long sleep. Even the AI began using humor occasionally, making sarcastic comments when Jace made risky repairs. But the biggest test came when he attempted the first short flight. Jace climbed into the bridge and activated the engines. The cruiser shuddered, sparks flying as old circuits groaned under the strain. Slowly, the ship lifted from the hangar bay, wobbling slightly. Alarms rang, warning of pressure instability issues. "Steady," Jace whispered. "Hands on the controls." "Come on, hold together!" The AI monitored every system, providing guidance. "Power to thrusters." "Rebalance the energy distribution. You are exceeding safe parameters."
"I know," Jace said calmly, "but safe parameters don't make history." With a deep hum, the cruiser stabilized.
The massive ship floated above the hangar bay, slowly moving forward. The sensors picked up distant signals. Alien ships, perhaps scouts, noting a strange energy spike. Jace ignored them, focusing on keeping the cruiser steady. After a few tense minutes, he maneuvered the cruiser through a narrow asteroid field near the hangar. Debris scraped the hull. Sparks flew, but the ship held. The AI flickered, seemingly shocked. "You did it," it said. "The engines, stable." Movement. Functional. Jace laughed. "We did it, together." By nightfall, the ship had completed its first flight, circling the nearby sector. From outside, anyone watching would have seen a ruined armored cruiser, damaged and old, moving under its own power. Many would have thought it impossible. And yet, here it was. Jace didn't stop. He worked on shielding next, reinforcing the hull with spare alloy plates and recharging the ancient shield generators. He modified the ship's energy flow, allowing the shields to recharge faster than originally designed. The AI began assisting more actively, suggesting improvements and optimizations. The collaboration between human and machine was remarkable. The AI had seen countless captains, but none like Jace. The human's ingenuity, patience, and creativity had turned a forgotten relic into something new, something alive. As the sun of a nearby star set, casting long shadows across the bridge, Jace looked out at the horizon. The cruiser had survived its first day of major repairs and its first short flight. He allowed himself a small smile. Tomorrow, he said to the AI, we start testing weapons and combat systems. If anyone thinks humans can't turn a wreck into a warship, they're about to find out. The AI blinked slowly, a sound of cautious respect in its tone. Humans, reckless, unpredictable, fascinating. And somewhere, far in the galaxy, alien sensors picked up the energy spike. A massive ancient warship, thought lost, was moving again. Word would spread. Curiosity would turn to fear, and the humans, small, underestimated, and clever, would soon shock everyone. For Jace, the day ended not in rest, but in anticipation. The ship was alive. The AI was beginning to trust him. And the galaxy was about to take notice. Humans, he realized, always had a way of surprising the universe. Word traveled fast in the galaxy. Scanners picked up the energy signature of a massive armored cruiser moving in a remote sector. Rumors spread. A human had somehow brought a long-forgotten warship back to life. Most dismissed it as exaggeration. Humans were clever, yes, but they had always been considered weak, small, and reckless compared to alien fleets. But Jace knew the truth. The ship was ready, or as ready as it could be. The engines hummed steadily, shields recharged quickly. Weapon systems, while outdated, were functional under manual control, and the AI, once cautious and sarcastic, now worked alongside him, helping to predict energy flows and weapon accuracy. Jace had chosen the sector carefully. It was far from heavily populated space, but that didn't mean trouble wouldn't find him. It came faster than he expected. Scouts from a notorious pirate fleet detected the cruiser. To them, it was an easy target. An ancient, broken human ship. How could it survive against a real fleet? They didn't know Jace. They didn't know human ingenuity. Pirates incoming, the AI said, its voice tense. 3 ships, armed and faster than us. They are closing distance rapidly. Jace didn't panic. He had been expecting this. Good, he said. Time to show them what humans can do. The pirate ships approached in formation, weapons glowing. Each ship was faster, sleeker, and clearly better armed than the old cruiser. The aliens sneered on their bridge, certain that victory would be swift. Jace activated the cruiser's main thrusters, moving the ship sideways in a sharp arc. The AI guided his maneuvers, recalculating energy flow to shields and engines with every twist. Sparks flew as old circuits strained, but the ship held together. Targeting sensors online, Jace said. Let's see if they like surprises. The cruiser's main cannon powered up slowly, the ancient weapon humming ominously. Jace fired. The shot was precise, hitting the lead pirate ship's shield with an impact that rocked the vessel. The shield held, but the pirates froze in shock. Impossible! One pirate shouted. That ship should not even move, let alone fire accurately. Jace grinned. Never underestimate humans. The AI assisted with minor calculations predicting enemy movements. Jace manually adjusted the turrets, directing fire to weak spots in the pirate ships. One of the smaller vessels exploded in a brilliant flash of light, sending the rest into panic. But the pirates adapted quickly. 2 remaining ships flanked the cruiser, trying to hit its shields from angles Jace had not yet accounted for. The ship shuddered under the first salvo, alarms blaring. "Rerouting energy to shields," the AI said.
We can survive if we stay mobile.
Jace pushed the engines to their limits, weaving through the debris of nearby asteroids to break the pirates' line of sight. The cruiser moved like a wounded but clever beast, dodging attacks that would have destroyed most ships. Every maneuver, every tweak of energy distribution was calculated on instinct and knowledge. The AI made a quiet observation. Humans are... Their decisions do not follow standard logic, yet they work. "That's because we improvise," Jace said calmly, even as a laser hit the hull, sending sparks flying across the bridge. He fired again, targeting a structural weakness in one pirate ship. The impact tore a gaping hole in its armor, forcing it to retreat. The final pirate ship tried to run, but Jace anticipated the escape route, aiming the cruiser's cannon to block it. With one precise shot, its engines were damaged, and it was forced to surrender. Silence fell for a moment. The AI blinked slowly, analyzing the battle. "Outcome: improbable. Victory human." Jace leaned back, breathing hard but smiling. "We did it. Just the first of many." For the first time, the cruiser's sensors picked up communication signals from nearby factions. Word had already begun spreading about the human who had defeated 3 pirate ships alone. Aliens, once mocking humans, were now murmuring with fear and curiosity. But Jace didn't have time to celebrate. He had learned long ago that attention brought challenges. The galaxy noticed humans now, and with notice came danger. The AI spoke again, this time with more respect than sarcasm. "Human, you have exceeded expectations." "Perhaps you are. Worth watching closely." Jace laughed. "Worth watching, yes, but also underestimated. That's how humans survive." As night fell over the sector, Jace guided the cruiser back into a hidden asteroid field. Repairs were already underway. The hull had been damaged by pirate fire, but Jace had anticipated this. Using spare materials, he reinforced weak points and optimized shield performance. Every repair was faster, smarter, and more efficient than the last. By the time the stars peeked through the darkness, the cruiser was fully operational again. Weapons ready, engines stable, shields at maximum. The AI ran diagnostics, displaying a record of efficiency Jace had never imagined. "You may be reckless, human," the AI said quietly, "but your logic is superior in ways I cannot compute fully." "And that's why humans are dangerous," Jace replied with a grin. "We don't just follow rules. We bend them, break them, and make new ones when needed." Outside, sensors still picked up alien activity. Other fleets had learned of the cruiser's presence and were curious or afraid. Some saw it as a threat, some a joke. Most simply underestimated it. Jace knew they would learn the truth soon enough. The cruiser, once abandoned and forgotten, now had a human at the helm. And humans, as the galaxy was about to discover, were never to be underestimated. The AI analyzed potential threats for the next day. 3 hostile fleets within 10 light-years. They are likely preparing an attack. You will face overwhelming odds. Jace smiled, eyes glinting in the dim light of the bridge. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of test we need. He began mapping strategies, running simulations with the AI. The cruiser's old weapons, combined with human ingenuity, could outsmart enemies far stronger and faster. Shields could be manipulated to create deceptive energy signatures. Engines could move in ways that alien ships could not predict. "This is going to be fun," Jace said quietly. "And when we win, the galaxy will remember the name of a human and his ruined armored cruiser."
As he prepared for the next day, he looked out at the stars.
The cruiser floated gracefully, a relic of the past now reborn. Its light shone bright, a beacon of human determination. The AI, once cautious and sarcastic, now showed pride in the human who had saved it. Somewhere in the galaxy, the pirates and smugglers who had laughed at Jace were already spreading the story of the human who had defeated 3 ships alone. Other aliens would soon hear, and the galaxy would begin to take notice. But for Jace it was simple. He had a ship to repair, systems to upgrade, and a galaxy to show that humans were not weak, small, or helpless. They were clever, resourceful, and unstoppable when underestimated.
And tomorrow, the real test would begin. The first real battle against a larger force.
Against aliens who thought they were superior. Against overwhelming odds. Jace tightened his grip on the controls. "Let's wake the galaxy up," he said. "Humans are here. And we're just getting started." The warning lights flashed red across the cruiser's bridge. Jace leaned forward, eyes fixed on the holographic display. Multiple fleets had been detected, converging on a human colony at the edge of the sector. Thousands of civilians were at risk. The humans in the colony had no way to defend themselves. Jace's hands tightened on the controls. "All right," he said to the AI. "This is time to show the galaxy what humans can do." The AI's hologram flickered, more serious than ever. "The odds are extremely low. We are outnumbered and outgunned." Jace smiled faintly. "Low odds don't mean impossible. Let's get to work." He began plotting a course through the asteroid belts near the colony. The terrain was treacherous, but perfect for an ambush. The cruiser, though massive, was more maneuverable than the aliens expected. "Energy distribution to engines and shields at maximum," Jace commanded. "Weapons online. Let's surprise him." The fleets appeared on sensors, sleek alien warships, armed to the teeth, moving in perfect formation. They looked confident. They expected an easy victory. They did not expect a human to command a wrecked cruiser. "Prepare evasive maneuvers," the AI said. "I have calculated possible trajectories. They will predict us, but humans are unpredictable." Jace grinned.
Exactly. The first wave of enemy fire struck. Lasers cut across space, hitting the shields, but the cruiser held.
The AI adjusted energy flows in real time, rerouting power from weapons to shields and back, keeping the ship alive under heavy fire. Jace activated the main cannon. It hummed loudly, more powerful than anyone expected. A single shot tore through the lead alien ship, damaging its engines. Confusion spread among the enemy fleets. "Impossible!" one alien commander shouted over the comms. "That ship! It should not be able to fight like this!" Jace leaned back, manipulating the control panels with precision. "Humans never follow expectations. The cruiser moved like a predator, weaving through asteroid debris." Jace fired torpedoes, lasers, and energy pulses in quick succession. The AI calculated targeting faster than any human mind alone could. Every shot hit vulnerable points in the enemy ships, causing explosions that lit up the void. Even as the aliens adapted, Jace had prepared contingency plans. He had learned from every repair, every test, and every skirmish over the past days. The cruiser, once abandoned, now acted as one coordinated system, blending human intuition and AI precision. "Shields holding at 85%, the AI reported. "We are maintaining integrity. Enemy fleet is faltering." Jace allowed himself a small grin. "Good. Keep it that way." The battle escalated. Enemy missiles streaked across space toward the cruiser. Jace triggered countermeasures, deploying decoy drones that mimicked the ship's energy signature. The missiles veered off and detonated harmlessly in the asteroid field. "You humans are unpredictable," the AI said. "Almost awed." "And proud of it," Jace replied. "Let's finish this." With a sharp maneuver, the cruiser appeared behind the largest alien ship. Jace targeted the main reactor, firing a concentrated energy blast. The reactor exploded, sending shockwaves across the fleet. Panic spread. Ships collided, engines failed, and the remaining fleets retreated in chaos. The human colony, watching from sensors and long-range communication, erupted in cheers. The once doubtful humans now saw the truth. Ingenuity, courage, and perseverance could defeat even the greatest odds. Jace navigated the cruiser back to the colony orbit. He activated a communication channel. "Humans of this colony, you are safe. Their defenders have arrived. Stand tall, humanity is not weak." Across the galaxy, news spread like wildfire. The human who bought a ruined armored cruiser for 5 credits had defeated multiple fleets, outsmarted enemies far stronger, and protected innocent lives. The story became a legend almost instantly. The AI analyzed incoming reports. Humans are being noticed. Your actions, they inspire respect and fear simultaneously. Jace leaned on the controls, thoughtful. That's what humans do. We survive, we adapt, and when underestimated, we rise. But Jace didn't stop there. Over the next weeks, he upgraded the cruiser further. He reinforced the hull, optimized weapon systems, and trained other humans in his fleet. Aliens who had mocked humans began to see them differently. Respect replaced laughter. Fear replaced scorn. The cruiser became a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. Wherever it went, humans began organizing fleets, defending colonies, and asserting their presence in the galaxy. The aliens, once dominant, now had to account for human cleverness in every strategy. One evening, Jace stood on the cruiser's bridge, looking out at the stars. The AI's hologram flickered beside him. Human, you have changed the perception of your species. The galaxy now sees humans as formidable. Jace smiled faintly. We've always been capable. Most just didn't notice. But now, they can't ignore us. Your approach, combining intuition with technology, it is impressive, the AI said.
Thanks, Jace replied, but it's just what humans do.
We take what we have and make the impossible possible. Outside, the cruiser glided through space, once a forgotten relic, now a powerful symbol. Across sectors and star systems, the story of a human and a ruined armored cruiser spread. It inspired hope among humans and caution among aliens. Jace activated the navigation console.
Next target? He asked the AI, already planning the next move. Human, the galaxy is watching.
Perhaps it is time to expand our influence. You will need strategy, allies,
And daring. Perfect, Jace said.
Humans are ready for that, and we'll show everyone just how strong we can be. The stars stretched ahead, endless and bright. Jace and the cruiser, alive against all odds, moved forward, carrying the message: humans are clever, resilient, and unstoppable when underestimated. The galaxy had learned its lesson. The human who bought a ruined armored cruiser for 5 credits had done more than survive. He had redefined what it meant to be human in space. And this was just the beginning.